Welcome to Left to Center.
Episode 23.
That's great.
Oh, wow, we're starting.
We're in our early 20s.
That's good.
What were you doing at 23 years old?
I was poking holes in the ocean.
That doesn't sound like... Well, you were serving our country.
Yep.
Which was great.
Yes, it was.
I was... was that like the Sammy Sosa? That would have been like 92, right? 93 for us?
Yeah.
93?
Uh-huh.
I wonder if that was the Sammy Sosa McGuire year. If it was, I was probably...
It was not.
Hanging... What was that year? 90,
It was
92?
I was in law
91?
school when that happened. It was like 99.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No way. Someone's going to know online. Because I'm thinking
telling
like
you
I
it
was living up
I was in law school.
I was living in the city, I think.
I was in law school. 99.
No.
Look it up, John.
Sosa
Sosa
McGuire,
years?
93.
Sosa McGuire. All right, I'm looking.
I'm going with 93.
You're wrong.
Okay.
I hate to bet over
Won't
the
be
air. I hate to bet over the air. I don't know if that's illegal. Is it illegal?
Probably.
Let's bet.
We're not betting. Well,
Let's bet.
we're not over the air. We're on podcast. This is
All
not
right, let's
FCC.
bet.
Okay,
All right. I bet you $50.
I'm
closer
going
than you.
93.
I'm going 99. I bet you $50 I'm closer. Fist bump. Come on.
50?
Hell yeah. You
John?
freaking
This is, okay, it's 1998.
eat that. That
Man, my memory's going.
Suck on that, baby.
$50.
That
Thank
was
you
the
very much.
home run record
Thank you very much.
chase.
Thank you very much. I will,
Sosa McGuire?
I will donate it to a great charity. This charity is called McDermott Household.
Can you
No
do
way.
this on
Charity.
the air?
I don't know. We just did it. Thank you very much.
50. I'm down $50 before it's even, like it's
That's all right. I'll invest-
$7.35 and
I will invest it wisely.
I'm down 50. I just
You cannot
That was
believe
quick.
it. I was in law school, dude. I remember sitting there in law school.
God, what was it? 98? I just
all
remember
right.
being a great year.
The first thing that goes to
It
memory.
must have been a haze.
You know what? The second thing to go.
Oh
yeah.
Play
oh
it,
my
John.
God.
The little blue
You know,
pills.
as a Cubs fan, I am embarrassed.
I am embarrassed for you. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
93 must have been like Greg Gaetti hitting the home run in the one game playoff.
That would
or
be-
something.
that
Does
would
that
be
sound
more
about right?
applicable.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think you're right.
There you
I
go.
think Tom should have to put that on Phil's Lock of the Week now.
All right, let's do that. By the way,
I agree.
By the way,
That's
John.
a good way to blow money like I just did.
Yeah.
By the way, hold it. Why don't we have Lindsay start off the show with the plea for
That is
reviews,
sad.
rates, reviews. Get us on a better algorithm.
A better algorithm.
Yes,
Yeah, my voice is definitely going to get us a better algorithm. That's for damn sure.
you're
Okay.
helping us get a better algorithm, Liz.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so you're listening to Left of Center, where we cover everything from politics to important events of the day in the Midwest and the nation, all while trying to have too much fun while doing it. And if you can't get enough of us, follow us on Facebook at Left of Center Podcast or on Twitter at LockPod, LOCPOD. If you can't listen in live, download our episodes from the Apple Podcast app or Spotify app and enjoy our show at a crystal clear 336 kilohertz per second. Just search Left of Center and look for our red and blue logo. Also, do you own a business? Are you running for an office? Do you like to hear us talk about you on air? Give us money. Email us at leftofcenterpod@gmail.com and I will take your money gladly.
I need my $50 back. So
Kevin
anything
needs
we
his
can-
$50
Anything we
back.
can do to help that get.
I will.
I'm
I will be
I'm
your
reeling.
billboard. I will-
Also, we have a special sponsorship package for our election episode next week if you are interested. That is 3 jam-packed hours full of us singing your praises.
Oh yeah,
Good
You-
point.
Why don't we talk about election?
Yeah,
night
let's do that
since
before
we're
we get
on
our
it?
sponsors.
And then I want to go back to Tom's lock of the week.
Can we do our sponsors then?
Yes. Well,
After we
first
talk
off,
about- yeah,
election
election
night.
night.
We have. So we're going 6 to 9 p.m. on election night, right, Kev?
Mm-hmm.
And we are like lining up guests that know what the hell's going on.
Absolutely.
Guests that could give us the latest information so that if you listen to us, you'll hear it first. You'll hear about the breaking races. You'll hear about our excellent commentary about what's going on. And then you'll hear us cry if Donald Trump wins, which will be comical, you know.
It won't be.
You won't
fun.
hear all of us cry.
No.
John
No.
Mesmer.
No.
But anyway, we got Matt Reardon is going to be a guest. As everybody remembers, Matt was one of our early guests and
One of our
excellent.
best. Yeah, it's awesome.
We got Jerry Davich, the great columnist who was one of our early guests. Excuse me, and also great Steve Sursick, Kevin's law partner is going to be in here. Kevin Pastrick, another guest that night. He's excellent. He knows his politics. He grew up in a very political family, and he's got amazing insight. He's going to be here. Vera Maluznik, who's a party insider. She was basically sort of like my chief of staff. Kevin was the attorney when I was chairman, but Vera is very, very plugged into local politics. She knows what's going on.
These people are all good.
We got Michelle Feynman's going to be making guest appearances. Councilman William Godwin, former guest of our show, is going to be stopping by that night as well. I know we have other guests lined up. Am I missing anybody, Lindsay?
There's going to be in and out
already.
People coming in and out.
We're inviting people left and right. We're trying to set up a schedule so that basically, if you listen from 6 to 9, you're going to hear a bunch of great local elected officials. You're going to hear a bunch of,
Yeah, just remember
commentary.
we're gonna talk about not just local stuff, but state and national too. John's got a lot of great video lined up, so stay tuned. I talked to John. I'm counting on you.
There's some work to do.
Got homework.
John, this is a promotional piece for election night. So yes, you do.
He's like, do I?
Oh, I'm ready, man.
I know you are. I know you are.
And
And
CGI and all this
now we're
stuff.
talking. And so, by the way, I got a text from somebody who said not only will he be watching us on election night, but he's going to share the screen to his big screen and
Awesome.
watch us
that's
and have like a little small socially distant house party. So
That's great.
Pretty cool.
Put
so
us
you can do
on
that
at your
too.
bars, your restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely subscribe.
I'm on
rate.
the event page now. We have almost 100 people that said they're going to be watching with us.
That's great.
Good.
It's going to be good.
Yeah,
Good.
so definitely tune in. All right, let's do our sponsors and let's hit it.
Okay, let's start off. Tortillas Nuevo Leon. Tortillas Nuevo Leon has been Chicagoland's tortilla brand since 1975. Nuevo Leon makes delicious flour and corn tortillas as well as crispy nacho chips that you can find wherever you shop. Look for their popular red and white label. Visit the website at tortillasnuevoleon.com for more info.
William Luter for Hammond School Board. During this unprecedented time, it's more important than ever to make sure the right people are leading the Hammond School Board. William Luter is one of those people, a parent, Hammond resident, and longtime public servant. He supports teachers and students and is invested in the success of Hammond schools. Endorsed by both the American Teachers Federation and our own Mayor Tom McDermott, William Luter wants to work with the schools and the city to make Hammond schools better now and in the future. For more information about William Luter, visit his Facebook page under the name William Luter for Hammond Students, paid for by William Luter for School Board.
The people that I'm supporting for school board in Hammond have to support the superintendent, and William Luter supports Scott Miller because I think Scott Miller's great, and I think that he's going to help move Hammond schools forward, and that's where I'm coming from. I just want to make sure that the people that are on that school board support an amazing leader, and I think Scott's an amazing leader.
He's done a lot for the schools already. I think
literally-
he's made some tough decisions that
Yeah.
are going to, I think, change Hammond schools for the better. When you look back 20 years from now, it's going to be
right.
like Scott made the tough decisions,
He made
and
tough
the board
decisions.
did. So.
That's right, and
Current board.
we need people that are going to support him, and that's where I'm coming from. So if you support that vision for Hammond schools, then you should take a look at the candidates I've endorsed. So Lisa Miller is another candidate I talked to that supports the superintendent of schools, and that's important. That's why I'm supporting those two. That's why they're in my yard, because there's a movement afoot in the community to try to put pressure on the superintendent, and I just don't agree with that at all. So that's where I'm coming from. Anyway, Bob's Plastering and Painting provides professional, affordable, and reliable plastering and painting services with over 30 years of experience. They are licensed, they are bonded, and they are insured. Call today to schedule a free estimate at 219-616-6609. That's 219-616-6609. Check out before and after pictures at bobsplasteringandpainting.com.
I cannot wait for Bob's Plastering and Painting to come to my house on November 9th.
Nice.
He's coming to do some work. I'm really excited
Wow.
about
You're
it.
probably
Yes.
leveraging left of center
Not
to get
true.
your shit done at your
Not
house.
true.
Yeah,
Not
you
true.
are.
He's
I know.
sponsored
I know what's
before.
going on here. I've seen this.
He's sponsored before.
Yeah, he's like, hey man, I'll give you prime time
Yeah.
Lindsay, is that true?
for a little discut. Bob's Plastering.
No way.
Yeah.
He's going to need a discount after that
Yeah,
loss,
you're
man.
trying to,
I know. You just took. I mean, I don't even know if I can pay Bob now.
dude. Like you were wrong. I was like, come on, Kevin.
You're right.
I
I'm
knew
glad
where
it
I
was
was.
only 50.
I'm glad it was
because I
only
think I would have
52.
taken more. I mean, I probably wouldn't have.
I was worried about the future of your family.
I appreciate that, and my plastering at the house.
That's right.
Mrs. Smith finds out.
Yeah.
she's gonna find out.
No, she,
I already texted
she's not
her.
watching.
Jana.
Hey,
Just-
we have
don't worry, she's not watching.
special shout out, huh? To one of
Ron?
our viewers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got one more.
Oh, you had one
sponsor.
more? I'm sorry.
One
Yeah.
more. And this is an important one. The Ron Prestimer Insurance Agency has been serving your insurance needs for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard in Hammond. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including business insurance, property insurance, and much more. The Prestimer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses all around Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie at 219-844-0103 for a free quote and to discuss how to protect you and your business.
Last night, got to meet a fan of our show,
Yes.
young lady from East Chicago, Monica.
Yeah, she's like, I've never met the mayor, and I was like, oh, here, Monica, here's the mayor. And she was
was-
excited.
She was not that excited.
She was excited to meet you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
That was
and
nice
she
of
was
her.
saying
I was
loves
excited.
the show, so we love that.
That was the coolest part for me. She was a great, It was great to meet her. She listens to every episode. I was like, "What episode are we on?" She's like, 23. Like she knew more about the show than I do, and I thought that was great. So,
Yeah, it was good.
Monica,
She was on it.
awesome.
it was nice to meet you.
How about a birthday? We got a birthday.
Another, we have a super fan of the show. What do they call them? Top fans?
Top fan. Top
One of our top fans, Laura Lunks Wilson. It's her birthday today. Happy
Tomorrow.
birthday. Tomorrow. Happy
Halloween.
birthday.
Happy Halloween birthday.
Laura, I read her comments all the time. We appreciate her always watching the show and being a super fan.
Please subscribe and rate us.
Super fans get birthday mentions. So
There you go.
Be a super fan. Share our show. Get us on a better algorithm.
Halloween birthday. At least it's a party every year for
Yeah.
a birthday.
Hell yeah.
How about that for fun? I saw fun fact about Halloween tomorrow. First time since 1944, there will be a full moon in all 4 time zones in the U.S.
By the way,
Full moon.
it's my sister's who lives in Brooklyn, New York. It's her birthday today. So
Happy birthday.
she's working, so I don't think she's watching. But if she is, Stephanie, love you. Happy
How long
birthday.
has Steph been in New York now? A couple years?
Couple of years now. She literally moved to New York right in time for the lockdown. Like,
How's New York
she
City,
really
Steph?
she hates it because she's been locked in her. But she did meet a great New York young man from New York.
No
and-
kidding.
Yeah. So she's a New Yorker now.
Good for
she
Steph.
Obviously grew up in Northern California where I grew up, and then she moved to L.A. and she lived there for a number of years, and then she moved to New York, and she's a New Yorker now. So anyway, happy birthday to Laura. It was
you
great to
have,
meet you last night, Monica. I know we have
Yes,
Phil
we
waiting,
have
right?
that.
I'm
Phil
sorry.
is on.
Phil's on. All right. Let's do Lock of the Week real
bring him
quick
in.
so we can get him on and off.
Yeah, dude, this is. I don't know about this segment, man. I'm really Kevin. I'm really
Phil,
thinking.
he was saying that I was not like excited for him that he won 2 on Monday. I
tell
just
you.
said let's not get overly pumped that he got 2 in a row.
I just
2 and
think.
6.
I honestly think it's time to get rid of this segment.
Oh no.
Not
I
yet.
do seriously. Like it's. There's too many people relying on it, and like. I mean, he sucks at this. I mean, he's
John,
not
he'll
really-
start ripping me for saying I wanted to get rid of the segment, even though it came right out of the mayor's mouth.
I mean, like if the guy was good at it, is he online? Can he hear
He
us right
is.
now?
Yeah,
Oh shit!
he
I'm
is.
sorry. Hey Phil, how's it going?
Really, guys?
what do you
What?
see?
What?
John, did you hear that?
I
Really,
mean-
guys?
Yeah.
Like
What's
he
the
wants
matter?
to throw. He can't just go right after the mayor. It's impossible.
What's up, Phil?
Here I was calling in thinking, this is obviously going to be the best
Really,
podcast
guys?
you've ever had before. Mainly, because I just won my lock of the week.
You won
And
2 in a
now
row, didn't you?
You're trying to cancel me?
Dude, I mean, Phil, you're 2 for
You
7.
didn't just win your lock of the week. You won last weekend.
You're
Sunday.
2 for 7. Dude, people in baseball go 2 for 7. I guess that's a bad analogy.
2 for 6 would
2
be
for
great.
6.
I'd
2 for
take
7.
that.
Right, 2 for
It's Hall of
7.
Fame numbers.
2 for 7, you get demoted. And you're 2 for 7.
Not anymore. not in Major League Baseball anymore. You could hit like 210 and still have a spot.
I mean, Tom, you play the stock market. Would
I
you
do.
want to sell your Tesla stock right when it starts to go on the rise?
yes,
I would sell my Tesla stock right
because he
now.
usually shorts it. Phil,
I would sell my Tesla. I would short Phil Taylor in a hot second.
I think I would too.
I would short you in a second, dude.
We'd be shorting
Guys,
you,
I'm
Phil.
on fire right now.
Are you?
You got to ride this
We've seen
wave.
stocks like that.
You don't jump off the surfboard.
What's the chance of getting back to 500 anytime before the end of the season, in your mind?
Well, I could tell you right now with my pick this week, there's no doubt I'm going to
All right.
have 3 in a row.
Well, Phil,
Do we have like a drum roll for this or anything?
I know. Let me tell you something, Phil. Lindsay is smoking you this year.
I'm 5 for 2.
It's
No,
5
you're
to
not
2.
5 for
It's
2.
not
I'm
5.
5-2.
You won 5. Phil is 1-2. You
just
picked
go with
5.
that.
No,
Yeah.
what is it? We have a total of 7,
That's
right?
no,
So
no,
I've
no.
won
It's a
5
total
and I've
5.
lost 2.
No.
Phil's yeah.
That's
You-
Phil's wins
right.
and your win.
Right.
I'm aware, but how many times have we done this before?
5.
7 times.
So anyway,
8 times.
8. Oh, so
they say a
5.
blind squirrel
3.
can find a nut every once in a while, Lindsay.
That's what
I
they
mean, I
say.
just
it
I
is a
would get too
50-50.
excited.
It's one of you is probably going to be right every week. So like, it's not like you're amazing just because one of you gets it right.
Well,
so
hopefully you guys aren't taking the same side this week. So what do you got, Phil?
what's your lock of the week, Phil? Because my
Lock
stock
of the
lock
week.
already
Here it
worked.
comes. Shh.
This is it. Sell everything.
Uh-oh.
It's put it all on. In fact, Tom, take that $50 Kevin just gave you. You're about to quadruple it.
I'm going to.
Put it
Embarrassed.
on the 49ers +3 over the Seahawks. It's a done deal. The game's basically already over at this point. You're welcome.
49ers. Are they at San Francisco?
It's got to be.
Nope, they're at Seattle.
So that's-
And Seattle's 5-1. I know it's a little. You're looking at it, but look at the teams they beat: the Giants,
That's
the
interesting.
Cowboys, the Dolphins.
So they're
Seattle's
basically
the
saying.
worst 5-1 team in football right now.
So Phil, you're saying off a loss that Seattle just had on Monday night, which was a great game, by the way, or if that was Sunday night, I can't remember. Sunday night, I think, which was an unbelievable game by Kyler Murray. But you're saying off a loss, Seattle goes home and they don't beat Frisco by more than 3.
Well, home isn't what it was anymore, right?
Agreed.
There's no
Sure.
13th man anymore.
Sure.
You know, so Seattle's just Seattle now. And secondly, I think unfortunately for them, they're facing a team that's on the rise. This is a team that wants to go back to the Super Bowl. So I think they're in trouble.
Who did San Francisco just beat last weekend? A pretty good team. I'm trying to remember who that
the
was.
49ers destroyed.
Yep, they destroyed somebody.
The New
pretty
England
good.
Patriots, I think.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Patriots are not
that's
that
what it
good.
was.
They're
Lindsay.
not that good.
Talon took the 49ers +3 over Seattle.
If we're thinking mascots, the 49ers haven't existed for 71 years, and Seahawks exist now. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks.
I think that's
Really?
171 years, Lindsay. The
Lindsay's-
Gold Rush
Is
was
it 1849? No,
Yeah, well,
damn.
the Gold
All
Rush
right.
was in 1949. This is why we love Lindsay.
Lindsay's still going to win this
I was
one.
an English teacher, not a history teacher.
Yeah.
But the point still stands. They don't exist anymore. So we're going to go with the Seahawks. Plus, I like their color combo a little bit better.
That's
like,
what we like to hear.
maroon and gold. Like, gag.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Phil.
From now on,
Lindsay's
guys,
going
if
with
you
the
wanna just start
Seahawks.
calling me Tesla. That's fine with me.
Tesla's overvalued a lot. It's very overvalued.
That's at the
Yeah,
beginning.
there you go, Phil.
At the beginning of the run.
All right, see you, Tesla. Nice talking to you. While we're
Tesla's overvalued.
while we're talking about stocks, by the way, I gave stock locks of the week a couple weeks ago, and I said buy ExxonMobil and buy Royal Dutch Shell. Well, I'm very happy to report Royal Dutch Shell yesterday. So unlike Tesla stock lock of the or pick of the week, Phil's pick of the week, Royal Dutch Shell went up 2% yesterday.
Okay, but you're going yesterday. I want to know, what has it done since you recommended
No,
it?
it's been basically like back
Steady
and
and
forth. But
nothing.
yesterday it jumped up on
There
good
you go.
earnings, and ExxonMobil reports today. And the thing is, they're not good earnings compared to last year, but they're better earnings than they were expected to get. And Royal Dutch Shell went up 2% yesterday, and I'm long on that stock on options. And if it moves up 2% on the stock price, it moves up a lot more than that.
Get in the money.
So stock lock of the week: ExxonMobil and Royal Dutch Shell pays. So
real quick, I want to make sure there's a couple things online I wanted to bring to your attention. Number one, are you going to have trick-or-treating at your house tomorrow is the question.
yeah, we're giving out candy. I'm not having a party.
Big trunk or treat today at the Sportsplex. by
Yeah,
the
I'll be
way.
there.
I'll be there as well.
Yeah, I'll be there. But yeah, we are trick-or-treating in Hammond tomorrow from 5 to 7. And my house will be giving out candy as usual. I will be the one. I'm going to be dressed as Super Mayor, by the way.
Nice.
I'm busting
You're
it
bringing
out.
it out?
Yep.
219 Day
Yeah.
costume.
Yeah,
He's going to
'cause
make an appearance.
We may
219
not.
days in the yeah,
219
it's in
days.
flux.
Yeah, 219 days
in
not looking
flux.
too. So I figure Super Mayor is going to bust out tonight and tomorrow. actually.
Somebody I trust with football, Marcus Taylor, said he's with Lindsay.
Oh, really? Yeah, I like to see it. I mean, honestly, I've been following Phil's locks of the weeks. In fact, last week I won twice with Phil, but I think he's wrong on this one.
That's a tough call. I give Phil credit for making a tough call because that is not an easy game.
49ers on the road, and they got quarterback issues
Although
right now.
Garoppolo's been playing well last 2 games.
I don't know.
He's
I
been
like
playing-
Seattle.
he's
Russell
been-
Wilson's too
since
good.
they brought
so
him back.
anyway, hey, by the way, Tony La Russa going to the White Sox.
How about that?
I like
If you're
it.
a White Sox fan, I think you love that.
I like it. I think it's a good move.
I
I
think
love,
you
I
love
love
it.
Tony La Russa. He's
And
he's
there's something
amazing.
about having veterans. Oh, and this guy, I saw some. I don't know if you follow Steve Stone on Twitter. He's a great follow. He basically was like, look, the guy's won 3 World Series, 4 pennants, whatever it is. Oakland. What do you win it with? Oakland and St. Louis.
Yeah.
I think, right? Just great. I love it. My best Tony La Russa story is I got a baseball signed by Tony La Russa in the '83 season at Comiskey Park,
Nice.
where you worked.
Yeah, I did. It was right around then. I worked there. I worked on the roof tearing off tar.
Wow,
I
that
met
been like freshman year of
It was
high school
86
for us.
because I remember this also. I remember baseball very well, obviously. 86, I remember it because I was in high school and I met the Boston Red Sox. One of my heroes at the time, Bill Buckner, who was on the Boston Red Sox, was taking BP while I was on the roof tearing off tar. And it was the only time that year I broke rank, and I went down to the field.
Just to
and
meet
I
Billy
met Roger
Buck.
Clemens. I met Billy Buck. I met the whole team. They signed baseballs for me. And then,
I love Billy Buckner when he was on the
So I
Cubs.
had a Roger Clemens signed baseball. This is a funny story. And I, keep it over the years. And it was like I
Sure.
got it myself, right? And it was Roger Clemens,
Yeah.
and Hall of Famer, obviously. And then my son Chase, 1 year, and he was like 3, signed it also.
Well, that
It
was,
was nice of him. It was nice of him.
So now you got Chase and Clemens on
Oh,
the
I
same ball.
got rid of the ball after that.
Like you're
It
Chase.
was smudged. I was like, Chase, you better become a Hall of Famer, man, because you just signed over Roger
he's
Clemens'
a Hall of
name.
Famer in our hearts.
Chase signed Roger Clemens baseball. True story.
At that time, he thought, you know what? I'm beating this guy.
I thought he would. You know,
Yeah.
Chase was a good ball player, so
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. Billy Buck, great. I mean, did you know? Wait, he started with Dodgers, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Billy Buck started with
Yeah,
Dodgers.
he did.
Then he
Rookie
was-
of the year, I think.
Yes, he was. Then he came to the Cubbies
He was great
for
at
Rick
first
Monday,
base.
right?
Was it the Rick Monday
Yeah,
trade, or
Rick
was
Monday,
it the?
Rick Monday? I'm pretty sure.
And then Rick Monday saved the flag, or no, was it the Matlock trade? I don't remember, but we'll
Anyway,
find that out
but Billy
too.
Buck came over, became beloved. Then he went to the Boston Red Sox and made
Mm-hmm.
an error, and then nobody forgave him for it.
They didn't. And
Then he was on
passed away.
Seinfeld. Yeah,
And he
he
was on Seinfeld. Passed away. I think he had Alzheimer's. I think,
Interesting
dementia.
fact about Bill Buckner: went to Napa High School, which is where I went to high school.
You know
in
what?
California.
That you told me that before. I forgot about that.
He's famous.
How cool is that?
Yeah, my dad and him knew each other. My family knew Bill Buckner, and the Buckners a lot. I mean, they're a Napa family. So
How about that? Napa High.
So that day when I met Bill Buckner on the field, I was like, I went to your high school, and he looked at me like, because we were in Chicago,
Right.
He was like, get the hell out of it. I didn't go to school in Chicago. And he's like, oh yeah, which high school is that? I go, Napa High School, and he's like, really? Like, boom.
Well, if that was
Connection.
86, you were still in high school.
I was still in high
Yeah.
school. Yeah, right.
You're going to his high school. How cool.
Because there's a huge picture of Bill Buckner in the gym.
Then he was like, for sure.
He's a badass.
Yeah.
I loved Bill Buckner when I was a kid.
There
Number
you go.
22, lefty.
Napa High, what's the mascot?
It was the Indian.
Napa High Indians.
Now it's the
it's like the
Golden Bear or something non-threatening. It's the brown and yellows. Right? Got to be politically
the
correct,
Wimping
right?
Down of America.
Speaking of politically
we wanna be
correct,
politically
I
correct
made
with
some
our
comments
mascots,
the other
don't we?
day that were not politically correct. I was with
You did.
I was talking about what's going on in Illinois and how I think that J.B. Pritzker and Lori
Yeah,
Lightfoot.
let's talk about that a little bit because I saw the Chicago News. The news was taping an interview with you yesterday morning.
Yeah, because I guess my comments weren't what people expected to hear from a Democratic mayor.
Well, I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, you got Pritzker on one end, right, and you've got other governors on other ends. Where do you think we should be?
I think that Holcomb in Indiana is doing it a little too light. I think we should be a little tougher than we're being. I think that Pritzker and Lori Lightfoot are way over the top in Chicago.
Just because they're hurting the economy?
They're killing the economy. They're not hurting. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they're killing the economy. And I think that Holcomb was doing it right for a long time.
Me
and then
too.
he backed off because of pressure, political pressure.
Yeah, and we've had Dr. Myers on a couple times. You know, he's taken some issue with the loosening of the regulations.
Right.
You know, and I think you're probably a little bit, agreeing there and that Governor Holcomb went too far too fast.
I'm in the middle.
Yeah.
I think that we should be a little tighter
Left
than
of
Holcomb.
center.
I think we should be a little tighter than Holcomb's got it, and I think we should be way looser than what they're doing in Chicago. And I'm not interested in shutting down the economy. I'm interested in trying to peacefully coexist with the pandemic.
And being healthy when you're doing it.
By
Yeah.
the way, last night we were in an event. I'm not going to mention the event. It was a large event, Kevin, right?
Yeah.
How many people? Hundreds?
150, 200 people.
It was packed. We were in a well-ventilated room, but not really well-ventilated. It was ventilated. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to mention where or what, but I was stunned at the number of people not wearing masks. I was stunned. And I'm not going to get into details because I don't want to. It's not important. But this is last night. I was wearing a mask the whole time, and so was my sidekick, Kevin, right? We didn't take our mask off the whole time. But how many, percentage-wise, what percentage of people were not wearing masks in that room?
I want to say 80% plus.
Yeah, easily. 90 probably.
Whoa. Yeah,
I'm telling you, John. John, hundreds of people in this room. Everybody's no, hardly any social distancing.
Yeah, it was
Hardly any masks.
strange. It was the first event that I'd been at that was like that, and I was uncomfortable, and it kind of made you feel like, I don't like to be like shame that no one did, but you still feel like
asshole.
Yeah, or
'Cause
just
we're
kind of
wearing
like
our
wimpy or something.
We're wearing our masks.
You were wearing your mask, right? And I didn't want to. I mean, I didn't.
I felt
no one
weird.
said anything.
I
but-
felt weird.
Yeah,
because I was wearing a mask. I felt like I was an outcast. Everybody's looking at me like, take off your mask, asshole. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah, no one said anything, but it was kind of, I don't know. You kind of get in that situation, right? If you're at a place where no one's wearing a mask,
Nobody.
you feel like you should have your mask off, and I don't know.
I didn't take it off, neither did Kevin.
No, I didn't either.
I was actually joking with people that it was a super spreader. I'm like, I'm not taking this. This is a super spreader.
Hopefully it's not.
I was literally saying that, being funny about it, but I wasn't being funny. I'm like, I cannot. When I walked in that room, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Nobody's wearing a mask. Everybody's just like, hey, the pandemic's over.
No, I hope not. I hope that everyone's safe and made it through that event, but I was ready. I mean, I said
Dude,
my hellos. And
this is a hot spot. And like, there was like literally, I was shocked. Like, and it doesn't matter what the event was. I was there to support, but like, I was stunned that people were just so nonchalant about social distancing. I was stunned.
Well, I think that's interesting, Mayor, because like you said, you went both in the paper. John's got the article up now on online on our feed right now, and you also were on Chicago media yesterday talking about that. Yet at the same time, I know that you are personally pretty careful.
I am. That's what I'm saying.
Where you're at. So
Kevin,
I think that's.
I'm not your
point.
mommy and daddy. I'm like, if you want to go to an event and not wear a mask, God bless America, right? But like, who am I to tell you, hey, we're not like the Hammond cops. I was talking about this the other day. I know during the initial lockdown, a Hammond cop would go by a skateboard park and see like 50 kids not social distancing, and we'd say, "Hey, get out of the park! You guys got to move on. You can't be here, right?" And now we don't do that because it's like, hey, if your parents aren't telling you what to do, my cops aren't your mommy and daddy,
right?
So
what's government's role? I mean, obviously it has a role.
Government's role is to set parameters. I mean, government's role is not to kill business. First off, like. If you shut down El Taco Real is not going to make a penny. And
right,
that's not fair to El Taco Real or any of the employees that work there, because Raimundo, the owner of El Taco Real, still has to make mortgage payments, still has to, in a lot of cases, they're still paying their employees, and then they have no chance whatsoever.
I had it's interesting, right? So what do you think about like some parameters saying like, okay, you can be open, but if you have a bar, everyone should have a seat, or there should be 75% of the people, or
I'll be honest with you, like the bar restrictions, like shutting bars down at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I think that's reasonable. It's like a peaceful coexistence. I'm like, don't like shut everybody down, but like maybe you put parameters on it, like you said, no bar service in a restaurant, right? You have to be in a seat. If you're up out of that seat at your table, you have to have a mask on, like which we're doing anyway.
I had an interesting, it was kind of an argument at home last night because about. No evictions. Like, where do you, so.
I don't like it either.
Yeah, well, you're with the other person at my house.
I wonder who that is. 'Cause she's always right. Jenna and I always see it. But seriously, like.
She's like, I don't know how you can think that. And
I agree with you, Kevin. Like, it's not, what do you think, magically the landlord doesn't have to make payment?
That's what she said.
I mean, seriously, I'm a landlord. That's funny enough. But like, the landlord has obligations too. You can't just say you can't kick people out. Then they're like, hell yeah, free rent. No, it's not free rent. Somebody's paying that rent.
I was on the other side of that argument.
You were wrong.
Yes,
so good job, Jana.
Twice today.
Good job, Jana. By the way, Jana, Kevin just paid me $50. I don't know if you saw that.
There goes the mortgage payment.
It's right here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it out in front of me.
Hope she's working today.
I think it was a violation of something, but like, I'm
Happy
just gonna
birthday,
leave that.
Jana, I think it says on it.
Thank you very much.
There goes her birthday money.
Oh, does that say? Oh, look at that. Courtesy of Smith Household. Right on the bill. That's wonderful. Thank you.
I'm gonna
what do you think?
Why
don't we pull in our guest? He's probably out there thinking we're going to bullshit all day long.
Yeah,
so
let's get him in.
Yeah.
Let's do some quick sponsors.
Let's go through real quick. And then while Chris comes in,
here.
Representative Chris Chung is an amazing guest. We're very honored to have in our studio. Let's go ahead and we'll go through here while Chris walks in the studio. Hi, Representative. How you doing?
Oh,
good.
Boy,
Come on
this
in.
is exciting.
All right, Latitude Commercial Real Estate. Latitude Commercial Real Estate is a full-service commercial real estate brokerage and property management firm specializing in northern Indiana and the Chicago suburbs. Local tenants to national developers have benefited from Latitude's experience in the commercial real estate market. When you select Latitude Commercial, you get Chicagoland expertise with worldwide marketing and networking ability. Whether you are a developer looking to sell, a tenant looking to expand, or an investor looking to purchase, or an owner in need of property management services, Latitude can help. Contact Latitude at 219-864-0200 or at latitudeco.com so they can get to work for you.
Attorney Alfredo Estrada at Burke, Costanza, and Carberry. With locations in Maryville and Chicago, Alfredo is one of the most experienced lawyers in the areas of immigration and civil litigation. He's also available at the Hammond Legal Aid Clinic to help with DACA and all other immigration issues. Call Alfredo at 219-769-1313, 769-1313 at Adelante con Alfredo.
By the way, Alfredo Estrada is coming by on election night also.
Oh, I forgot to add him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Alfredo Estrada is coming by also, so we're looking forward to talking to him. Adrian Santos, the longtime East Chicago City Clerk, is asking for your support. Clerk Santos has years of service to his community and is an elected official that is trustworthy and effective. He has been a loyal public servant for nearly 17 years and asks that you consider supporting him in the future. Paid for by a committee to elect Adrian Santos. Representative Chris Chung, welcome to Left of Center. We're
Thanks
so
for
honored to
having
have
me.
you.
Thanks for having me.
How you
We're
doing?
just, you're making it look better here. You're a young guy, successful representative.
That's right.
Bringing in the youth crowd to our podcast. Thank you very much to have somebody in their 20s and 30s listening to our show.
No problem. I try.
Yeah. You know, podcasting is the future, I've heard. So Kevin and I decided to jump in with both feet. And hey, I don't know if you met John, Chris, John. John's our producer.
Good morning.
Welcome to the studio. Chris, you made history a couple years ago. A lot of people knew you as a candidate running against Representative Hausleger, who's
Speaker's roommate.
the Speaker of the House, Brian Bosma's roommate, right? So a lot of people
in college.
in
to
college,
specify.
right?
Yeah, not anymore, right?
right.
Not now.
They're
That
both
would be
well
weird.
beyond that. You're right.
But like you shocked the world. It was really probably in the entire state. It was probably the biggest upset statewide. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. It was the closest election state legislatively since 2012 in the state of Indiana.
How close was it?
82 votes out of 25,000, so it was incredibly
82.
close.
That is. And
So you went through the recount process, had lawyers, the whole thing.
He didn't take it to a full recount. He had first impounded ballots. The state police has a process, but in Indiana, since it's all machine retabulation, you just go through the receipts basically and go through the provisionals, and 82 was enough where they couldn't challenge it legally. So we didn't need to proceed with lawyers, thankfully. I saved some money.
That's right, and that's why you're the representative of District 15.
Correct.
To this day.
Yep.
And we'll see, and hopefully 2 more years if you can
Of course.
win next Tuesday.
Yeah,
The
I
thing
hope
is,
so too.
since you got in there, Chris, you sort of become a rock star to the young Democrats. You have. You know, first Asian American elected statewide, right?
Yeah.
Right. Young. You're the youngest member of the General Assembly.
Yes, currently, yeah.
Right. You are. I could tell you, the young Democrats look at you like, you know, like a lot of them look at Pete Buttigieg. You're like, you have a.
Oh my gosh, I'm
you
not
have
as smart as Pete for
well,
sure.
not a lot of people are as smart as Pete, but you have a lot of influence with young Democrats statewide, which is it's got to be honorable, you know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely cool. I mean, it's definitely a responsibility to try and show young people like, hey, if I can do it, like you can definitely do it. It's not out of the realm of possibility to run for county or local or state legislative office and win. And even if, you know, I don't think it was just the fact that we worked really hard and we benefited nationally, but we also got pretty lucky, quite honestly, I think.
Luck is definitely part.
Yeah.
Luck is definitely part of it.
Yeah, I think that's.
I'm not saying
intrinsic
in
to
your case. In
politics.
all cases, you have to get lucky.
Yeah, you
Especially when you're running, you know, when you are not the incumbent, right? I mean,
Right.
some of it is luck getting in there. And obviously, you know, you had a reputation of working real hard, Chris. I mean, I think that's what I remember most is every time I remember in 2018, you'd hear about that race and it's like, man, Chris is working hard though. He's got a chance. He's working real hard.
Yeah, we try to be like omnipresent on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Nextdoor. I have 2 emails, 2 cell phones. And doing the ads on TV, doing the mailers, going.
Somebody said they saw you on Monday Night Football. You had an ad.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome,
That's a good.
man.
That's a good place
Yeah.
to
Well,
get those.
it's heating up, as you can tell. I'm sure people have seen both of my attack ads and my opponent's attack ads, and we didn't really have to do a lot of negative in 2018 because we were completely ignored by the incumbent state rep then. Like he didn't
So
do.
we're gonna win.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. So we did a lot of positive messaging, but this time around we could tell like there was from the beginning his pollsters at the beginning were going after my family and my parents.
Really?
And, yeah, and they were saying stuff
so
like
ugly, man.
like othering us and making us sound like I don't know, just fishy and weird. Like the fact that we live in Briar Ridge like became a flashpoint, and then I was getting Facebook messages being like, "Oh, you're so disconnected because you're from there," and I'm like, half my opponent's donors live in there, dude. Like,
Right. I mean, that's literally a big
Yeah.
part of your district.
Yeah. I mean, like, and I represent everybody, whether it's Democrats or Republicans. So it got super bitter from the beginning. And then even now, in the past 2 weeks or so, there's been like $100,000 worth of attack messaging, whether it's from radio or TV or mailers from his side. And I think it's kind of funny, like some of the attacks that they're putting against us. Like on one hand, they say I'm a liberal mastermind who's going to crush you to death with taxes. And they literally have me throwing a boulder onto killing somebody, and the boulder's labeled taxes.
We gotta see that.
Yeah,
You're very strong though. I mean,
yeah,
One of these
clearly, right?
Godzilla monsters.
Yeah.
I can.
5'7", 135 pounds.
You can
Bring
throw
it on.
boulders,
Yeah.
Chris. You can throw boulders.
Liberal mastermind.
Yeah.
John.
Sounds like a really funny
Yeah.
ad.
On one hand, they say that, and then on the other hand, they say I'm so incompetent I can't get even a study committee passed into law. So it's like they're two different. And then on one hand, I'm a huge spender. I'm a drunken sailor when it comes to taxing and spending. spending and voted for all this crazy stuff. And then on the other hand, I'm voting against these giant spending packages because they don't use your tax money well. So it's like two totally. And then I want to defund the police, but I'm endorsed by the FOP and the ISP, unlike my opponent. So it's just, it gives me a great laugh.
By the way, being endorsed by the police as a young Democrat running for re-election, that's huge. Like being endorsed by the FOP, that's huge in this environment.
Yeah, I mean, we have a common sense conversation and rapport with our local police. That's all that we're asking for, and that's all that I think most of the country is asking for. I mean, it's the same organization that endorsed Trump for president, and they endorsed me in this race because we have that bipartisan conversation.
So what's your message to your district is Griffith, Schererville, Dyer, I'm sure it's not all of those.
St. John as well,
And St. John. So parts of those communities are all of Schererville, all of Dyer?
All of Dyer, all of Schererville, parts of St. John and Griffith.
I know that the organization's busting for you. Like, I know the Schererville Dems are super proud of you, obviously. The chairman of the party is from Schererville, which I'm sure helps you a lot, right? It seems to me like the Democratic Party support is real strong for Chris Chung.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like when I was an outsider, quote unquote, into politics, I still kind of feel like I thought, the Lake County Democratic Party, it's going to be this giant organization and this apparatus, and they've got so much money, right? And it turned out like, no, that's not actually true. A lot of it you have to do on your own.
And not only that, they usually send you a bill.
I was going to say, they're asking for a check.
Hey, you got to endorse. You owe us $10,000. Like, what?
I mean, to Jim Weezer's credit, he has helped with the race, and has been working the phones and the relationships, and
but like any campaign, you need your own folks. And
for sure. We had to build it on our own.
So tell us a little bit about your background, your family, and kind of that story.
You grew up in
Northwest Indiana. Yeah, I was born and raised. I was born in Maryville, went to Munster High School. I live in Dyer now. I went to college away in New York, but came back.
What school?
I went to Columbia.
Nice. Yeah. Lions.
Yep, that's right.
Do you know Logan Forright?
She went to Munster. She was a little bit younger than me.
And then she went to NYU, so that's the only reason I asked, because I know the Forright family really well.
Yeah,
but she ended up going from Munster High School to NYU.
I haven't caught up with her.
She's
her
great.
brother Vaughn was in my year.
Yeah. I know the family really well. Vaughn's
great.
He's living in Ohio now. In fact, Dr. Forright's going to stop by an election.
Oh, that'll be nice. Always fun. The only other local Columbia guy I know is Dan Bowditch. He's a Columbia guy. He's like a financial guy. He's a Columbia guy. So interesting.
Yeah, but then my parents have always been physicians in the area.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
My dad's anesthesiology and my mom's an allergist.
Man, growing up in that house, there was high expectations for.
Oh yeah, they still
run for the state house, Chris.
They still are. I secretly think there's some conspiracy with them to be like, if he loses, he might go to medical school. Like, oh my God, you can't be any more Asian if you tried. It's like both of my sisters are doctors.
Really?
Both of my brothers-in-law are also medical doctors. So
you're like the black sheep.
I really
He's
am.
in politics.
Yeah. And my family still doesn't know what I do. They're like, what are you doing again? And I'm like, it's okay. You don't need to. It's fine.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No,
so was there any desire whatsoever to become a doctor, or no, just
not really? No. I mean, I hate blood.
I'm the same way, Chris.
Yeah, if I was bodies,
I would pass out if somebody walked in and wanted me to do something. Like, I am in the right line of work.
No.
Good for you. Yeah. That's why I went to law school. So when you were at Munster High School, what was your interest? Like growing up?
Actually wanted to go into finance and make money
on Wall Street.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I'm a huge finance guy. I love Wall Street. I love the stock market.
Yeah, I mean, it's appealing to make money. But when I went to school in New York City and did a couple internships, I hated it. And it was just awful, and they treat you like crap, and you work crazy hours, and you lose your own agency in life. So I was just like, I got to find a balance with this. So the company I found after college, Pangea Real Estate in Chicago, I thought really balanced the capitalism, but the social responsibility. They're an apartment company. They focus on like the south and west sides of Chicago, where there's really disinvested neighborhoods, and we brought in money from like JP Morgan and big institutional investors and provided what I thought was a superior apartment product in those neighborhoods. We had a 24-hour call center that I was in charge of doing the marketing and operations research on, and that was something that I thought was a lot better for the community. So it was that good balance of being like, okay, well, I'm making money, I'm making decent money, and I'm also doing something that I think is good for the world. And then 2016 happened, and I was like, maybe I want to get involved in local politics.
What was the spark?
It was 2016. It was during that time. I felt like politics was like the new small talk, and you couldn't get away from it. Like every single thing Trump was doing was on the news, and it was like, okay, well maybe this politics thing is important. And I was pretty apolitical before that. Yeah, and my parents are Republicans. I was raised in a Republican household, so but I kind of
my father's Republican also.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So you know the struggle.
Right.
I mean,
Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we don't talk politics. Yeah.
But with me, it was just like, okay, maybe it's time to actually learn, like, what is a state rep? What's a state senator? What does a county commissioner do versus a county council, and all those things. And it became really interesting. So the political strategy I wanted to dive right into.
So none of your classmates that you went to school with would have ever guessed that you were going that direction, right?
No, not at all.
Really?
I got messages from people being like, is this you? Or is this just like a dummy Instagram account or something?
This is your funny Instagram account.
Yeah.
What hobbies did you have when you were a young man? I mean, you still are a young man, but like growing up, what hobbies? Were you in athletics and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, I was on the tennis team at Munster, and we were
a good tennis team.
Yeah, we were pretty good during that era, and then we kind of fell off like after. I mean, not because I graduated. I was like,
it was a big
JV.
loss when.
No. All my friends were much better than me at tennis, but now it's kind of coming back. So I play tennis quite a bit, and wanted to do the whole Wall Street thing. So I'm into the stock trading. Was listening to you guys a little bit.
That's awesome.
Before.
My stock picks.
What do you think of his picks of the week? Yeah, this is what I
heard.
really want to hear.
Tesla's the fun one, I guess, that everybody's gambling on. And I held Tesla for a while, then sold it probably too early and kind of regret it now.
That's crazy, isn't it?
This is Mr. Short. He's
I'm
short.
I'm a pessimist.
He loves the short things. So you went long on Tesla.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I go long everything. I'm like, okay, if I'm 27 and I die at 90, that gives me like 63 years
to go through the ups and downs.
Yeah, where we need to make money. So I'll just buy it and hold on to it.
See, you know how I am. I'm also a long guy and holder. I'm a long and holder.
I short everything.
He needs the excitement every day. See, he needs everyday excitement.
To go to the craps table.
Well, I'm long on oil. I mean, I think oil's coming back. I mean, I know that's a touchy situation, but the price of oil is so low right now, and the oil companies are just getting beat down. I just have a hard time believing that the BPs and the Exxons and
so
the
you're
Shells.
shorting Tesla but long oil.
No. I don't touch Tesla. I've gotten burned too much.
He's like, I'm done with Tesla.
Tesla kicks my ass. Like, I'm done with Tesla. I'll buy a Tesla.
Figure it out.
I actually made enough at one time to buy a Tesla with the money I made, and then I lost it all. So, yeah, because Tesla doesn't make that stock just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make. I know it's a great car. I know everybody loves it, but if you look at the stock itself, it's just a horrible stock company. But it makes no sense.
Yeah, it's all hype. Yeah.
It is all hype.
It's amazing, right? They don't have showrooms.
Right.
There's like repair places
It's
like
PE.
3 in the country.
Yeah.
Its PE ratio is like 1,000. It's like unbelievably high. It makes no
Are
sense.
they even
I'm
making
long
money?
in it.
No, I'm not long in it. Not anymore.
So okay, so Kevin, you got another question?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I think I saw something about you actually still have a company co-holdings. Is that still? Tell us a little bit about that.
I've been kind of neglecting it lately, but that was after I left my job from Pangea to run the election. I was like, okay, well, I still need to make money, even though I haven't won yet. And didn't expect to, quite honestly, at the time. So I was flipping homes in Hammond and
Nice.
Yeah, trying. We only did like a couple projects.
You still
and then
do
we did
that,
one in
Chris?
Chicago. Not so much now. I've been so busy with the legislature.
Really, is it like your full time thing?
It basically is. It's like I tell people it's a part-time job in name and salary only. Like if you do it right, you have to go down there to Indy for meetings with stakeholder groups and for interim study committees. And I serve on 4 House committees, which I think is kind of at the top end of in the Indiana House. Like most people are on 2 or 3, and I'm on 4, so it keeps me pretty busy.
Study committees, for those that aren't aware, it's a lot of summertime work. Obviously, you're going down, and a lot of times the recommendations they come up with, they really go nowhere when you get back, right? And then sometimes the recommendations actually become. Yeah,
it's disappointing. I mean, sometimes the gears of government just grind so slowly, and we had a 3-hour meeting on truck weight limits and train freight limits, and I was just like, this is the date. Like it was shocking to me that with all my colleagues, like it took 2.5 hours into the committee for someone to be like, can we see this report that you're referencing? Like there were 2 different competing reports, and basically the freight industry, the train industry was saying, oh, the trucks are getting subsidized by government because they're not paying their fair share for wear and tear. And the trucking industry was saying, we are paying our fair share for wear and tear. And they were both referencing competing reports, and I was just like, I need to see both these reports, and I was kind of like, why am I the first person
Welcome
to
to
say
study
this?
session hell.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
it's-
Chris,
Yeah.
we have a question off the internet from
yeah.
Ed Repay, who's one of your constituents.
Yeah, hey, Ed, how are you?
Is the 15th district, this is something we all know the answer to, but we want to ask
It's a
you.
big topic.
Is it the epitome of gerrymandering? Gerrymandering meaning, drawing districts so that, basically the politicians pick their bosses.
Yeah, in some ways it is for sure. I mean, on paper, it doesn't look like a big snake that's, carving out different areas and whatnot. And for the most part, it's like Tri-Town and then plus a little bit of Griffith and not completely all of Tri-Town. But I think the manner in which the redistricting was performed around the 2010 census, it was very clear that this was kind of meant for my opponent to get that seat. And it's no discussion. It's no conspiracy theory out there. Everybody on the Republican and Democratic sides knew it.
That's absolutely true what you're saying.
Yeah, so
Kevin and I were involved. I was chairman of the party when that happened. They literally drew a seat for House Lager.
Yeah, this is great for the Cherville Council president. It's more than half the district. Half the voters are from his town. Great name ID. He's been on the council for 10 years. Like, it'll be a shoo-in. So then on the other side, though, like, I did win it. So, I mean, it's not ironclad. And I just want to make sure that the listeners know that for 2020, this is a critical election year because it's going to determine the power balance in the districts for the next decade. And I just think it should be more balanced. It shouldn't be supermajority, one party, one way or the other. It would be crazy of me. I think even if Democrats were in control, I'd be like, no, this needs to be independent. You are fighting a war and you are flaming a war that's going to be going on for decades if we don't have an independent commission drawing these boundaries.
Absolutely.
You're so right, Chris. I mean, that's and the Democrats did it in the past. I'm not saying that we're innocent, and the Republicans did it in 2010.
Right, yeah, and it's all revenge stuff. It's
right.
like all these
and it goes over for decades.
Yeah, I talked to one of the Republican reps from Southern Indiana about it, and he was like, well, it's so funny that you guys are talking about independent redistricting now because back when we were in the minority, I remember one of your reps over there now was against it, and I'm just like, so you're for it now, right? And he's like, oh, no, we need revenge. I'm just like, all right, cool.
But I mean, isn't that people will say to Democrats like us, they'll say, oh, well, you're just saying it now because, you're getting your butt kicked 41-9 in the Senate and what is it, 71-29 in the House, or
67-33.
There you go. We've made some inroads, but point being is like it's easy to say like, oh, well, you guys are saying it because you're getting your ass kicked
I'm not
now.
like that. I'm like, let's make it independent. I get
agree with
4
you.
Democrats, 4 Republicans,
I
make it
agree.
a unanimous decision.
By the way, if you're in a district like Howell or like a district that was drawn just for a person, you could be as extreme as you want. You could be as unreasonable as you want.
It doesn't make you.
I'm the kind of Republican or I'm the kind of Democrat that never works with the other side, and like we don't want that in government.
Same
we want people
thing in
working
Congress.
together.
That's what's happening.
We
in
want
Congress,
people
too.
working together. We don't want these extremists because it's ruining government.
Right.
It's dividing our country.
Right.
It allows people to take extreme positions and ignore part of their constituency.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
absolutely.
Like you don't matter, right? If you're a Democrat, you don't matter in that district, right?
Absolutely. And that's, I think, what my opponent had the fallacy of buying into in 2018. It was like, I've won this seat by 20 points in the last midterm. I don't need to go out and listen to the voters. I don't need to go out and see what they're thinking about.
That's right, Chris.
And we proved them wrong.
And now we have Chris Chung as a state
But you know
rep.
what, though, Chris? Like what you did is really incredible because I mean, you had the resources to be able to devote yourself 100%.
I quit my job in Chicago. I was like, I'm in my 20s. I don't have to kids to support, and I'm still living at home. So I'll just make sure that I can take the risk that I can, and I was able to devote that.
How many
time.
people could do that, though? In reality,
yeah, not a lot of people can. The way the legislature's set up, it's kind of internally biased towards if you're a retiree or if you are wealthy. Like this is a perfect job for you.
A business owner. If you have like a real job, like you're a union person that has to go to work every day, or a teacher that has to go to school every day,
it's not next to impossible.
Because you're gone. What, early January through March or April? Like gone, like 5 days a week. You're down there, and then you come home on the weekends.
Right. Yeah, I had a bill I authored to change the I knew it wasn't going anywhere. To change the legislative session to the summer months because it makes more sense now. Teachers could do it, students could do it, stay-at-home parents could do it.
That's why.
There goes your summer.
That's why you're great at your job, though.
And I'm okay with that. But then it's a relic of agriculture times when they had it January through March because those were the coldest months of the year, and we were
farmers could still make it.
Right. Yeah. And they were like, oh, we don't have anything else to do. We might as well pass laws.
So, Chris, what do you say to like the seniors in your district? I mean, how do you say this is why Chris Chung's a good representative for you?
Yeah. I'm really proud of the support we get from seniors. Honestly, essentially, like when at the beginning of this COVID pandemic, when the state of Indiana was not releasing the nursing home results for COVID tests by nursing home facility, I got a call from one of my constituents in Dyer, and she was in tears because her mother was at one of the 6 facilities in my district, and they couldn't get answers from anybody. They called and they said, we need to know, is she okay? Is there an exposure? Is there a positive? Like, it was at the beginning of like June or July, I want to say, or earlier than that, I think April actually, that she was calling my office panicking. And we leaned on the governor's office hard, and we sent out press releases, and we talked to different people behind the scenes. And it wasn't just me, it was Representative Delaney in Indianapolis and a few other Representative Melanie Wright in Yorktown. We all came together and said, just release the data, because if I have grandma in a nursing home facility, I need to know where the positive cases are. And they did that eventually.
See, that's great. So that's a really good success.
What's your relationship with the governor? I mean, because I know a lot of times they're dismissive, the Republican statewide are dismissive of.
Yeah, there's a curious dynamic this year, I think, with the Libertarian really mounting a super...
That debate was interesting.
Yeah, a super strong challenge historically. I mean, you've got to give him credit for that. And I mean, I have a good time with the governor on issues that we agree with.
Well, he's a nice person, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, right. And from everything I hear from my colleagues who were there previously and had to work under Governor Pence, they said, he was much more divisive. He was taking the ideological...
Very much so.
Yeah, he wasn't focused on the business aspect of it.
Eric's a better governor than Pence was, for sure.
Without a doubt.
Right, yeah. And he's, on some Democratic stuff, he caves on stuff that we want. So
and his Republican base get mad. They're like, what are you doing?
Right, yeah. Right? But it helps bring us together. So I know a lot of, Democrat, for better or for worse, I guess for some of my supporters, I know a lot of my own supporters will be voting for the governor for re-election because, they see the bipartisan aspect of what he's doing. And for him to get attacked from the left and the right is it's really fun to watch, I'll say. It puts him in a really interesting position.
One of the other things I think it was maybe on your Twitter recently, and this is something maybe people don't know, is that you've done some really interesting veteran stuff. And I was reading about this VASH voucher or something. Because I just think it's interesting that a young guy like you is in tune with issues that maybe people put more towards people our age or even older than us.
Right, yeah. Well, I serve on the House Veterans Affairs and Public Safety Committee. So under Carly Macer, who was our representative and our ranking minority leader, or ranking minority member on that committee, we really discovered an issue that was affecting a hugely vulnerable subset of Hoosiers. And the HUD-VASH program, for people who don't know, is basically Section 8 housing, but only for veterans and their families. So right now in Indiana, it is 100. It's not even legal in Texas. They banned this practice in Texas, of all places. But in Indiana, it's the only state where it's legal. If you're a veteran on that HUD-VASH voucher, you can be denied housing just because you're on the voucher, even if you're creditworthy, no criminal background history, you can pay the full market rent. And I just think, wow, that is so wrong. We should be able to get a bipartisan coalition of folks who are pro-veteran, both Democrats and Republicans, pro-housing, making sure that housing access and housing optionality is of utmost importance in our state. And we authored a bill, and we brought that in the last session, and we just ran out of time to get it through, but we're really working we're behind the scenes this year to bring it back next year.
Well, good luck
sure.
with that. That's exciting. Another exciting bill.
Chris, I think most people statewide look at you as like you're a real bright spot for young people, obviously for the Democratic Party. I know there's a lot of people, myself included, that have been around a while that look at you and very proud that you took that seat. And then I recently in the local paper read an endorsement where I just thought it was just very disrespectful to you.
Well, the media said it, so it must be true, right?
Well, of course, yeah. But seriously, your opponent, he's a nice person, but he's never been as dynamic or hardworking, in my opinion, as you. And we should be so proud that we have a person like you in the General Assembly. And I just thought the endorsement piece that came out was just a total slap. I don't like that kind of stuff. The Times, whatever, we can go on about what the partisan ideology and it's even funny, they didn't endorse a sitting Republican county commissioner because they said he works with Democrats too much. That's crazy.
So it's clear.
There you go. That's helping with partisanship.
Yeah, it's just nakedly political. But at any rate, I really like the article that Dan Cardin had put out about covering our debate, right after that endorsement piece came out. And finally, they referenced the fact that, look, my vote against a certain economic development project was about protecting Indiana jobs first.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because it's a development project that I know is important to the mayor.
Yeah,
and that's the data center. Let's talk about that, because I think it was an interesting, because it seemed to me the debate was going after, it seemed like former Representative Slager was going after you for voting against the data center subsidy.
Correct.
After it got stripped of a Indiana job
Correct.
portion.
Yeah.
So
I had no problem voting the bill through the full House when it had that provision in there, 75% of parts and labor from Indiana. I mean, it's a no-brainer. If we're spending hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars on a project, then we want to make sure we're pumping it back into Indiana's economy, not Illinois' economy, not subsidizing Michigan contractors. So I was disappointed that at the last minute there was a procedural move in conference committee to rip that out. And oddly, I feel like there's kind of this weird way that I connect with libertarians in a way, especially on the economic issues. Like if you look at the money that we're spending at the state level, the $35 billion biennial budget, there's a lot of stuff in there where you're like, this could be made so much better. This is not the best and highest use of taxpayer dollars. I'm not saying that about the project itself. I'm saying that about the actual use of the dollars going back towards Indiana. Like, again, we don't want to say, oh, Illinois contractors get first preference because they've got the big companies coming out of Chicago, and our guys, our iron workers, our laborers council, our sheet metal workers, all those folks locally don't get a first bite at the apple, even though it's subsidized by their taxpayer dollars.
Right. And I can tell you the interesting thing about that is actually when the project ended up getting, solidified, he pushed real hard to make sure that it was Indiana unions that worked on that job. That's the interesting thing. So it's kind of like the local end of it.
Right. They picked up the slack from the state.
Right. But I was never offended that you took that position, by the way. I mean, first off, we knew we were going to get it approved anyway.
Right,
you and I shared the same vision. I wanted Indiana workers and I want Indiana companies to benefit.
So it was really a procedural type thing.
It was.
And, I don't think, honestly, the voters give a damn about like this kind of stuff. Like right now they care about defeating COVID, defeating the pandemic, restoring the economy, sending their kids back to school safely, getting their unemployment claims quickly through the bureaucracy of the DWD. They don't care about all this small ball stuff. So
Laura, one of our super fans, asks, is there anything being done in the General Assembly to lower insurance rates for seniors? I imagine we're talking medical insurance.
Well, maybe this whole Medicare, Medicaid thing that's going through too. I heard about HIP, but that's probably doesn't affect seniors. But
HIP is being challenged by the Attorney General in court, and they're trying to, just because it's related to Obamacare, they're trying to tear everything down, basically.
It's a bad word.
I mean,
ridiculous.
I mean, it's
ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
we're in a pandemic,
right?
We're like,
great
20
timing.
million. I got this great plan. I just don't want to tell you about it right now.
Take away.
We'll talk about it next Wednesday.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we have worked tirelessly to lower healthcare costs for Hoosiers, especially our seniors, getting prescription drug pricing reform in place. I mean, there was a really interesting, and it wasn't really covered by the papers, but there was a really interesting vote where on the Democratic side, we offered a floor amendment to import prescription drugs from Canada. And that's something that President Trump has been talking about, and Bernie Sanders on his campaign too. They've been talking about these things like, okay, to truly lower the cost of prescription drugs, America should not be subsidizing the world's R&D when it comes to prescriptions. So why not allow the importation that'll bring down the prices of those drugs, that'll still make sure that it's a safe formula coming from a neighboring state like Canada. And they voted that through. We got a coalition of Democrats and hardcore conservative Republicans who support Trump, and then all the middle or moderate Republicans voted against it, just because it was something that was going to take a huge bite out of the drug companies' pockets. So
we know Eli Lilly's in Indianapolis. And
that's one reason I don't take corporate donations to the campaign. I mean, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with you if you do. The system, though, is just set up to outbalance the voice of voters and tilt it towards corporations and rich people who can buy out campaigns, essentially. So we just try to show people, like, it's not just the Democrats and Republicans are saying taking pharmaceutical money, taking insurance money, and all that kind of thing. It's with us, it's like we are standing up against those principles and making sure this is a grassroots campaign, because I think that's important.
What's the difference between the 2020 campaign for you and the 2018? I mean, obviously you're an incumbent, right? It's a different political landscape. You're not in the midterm. It's a presidential year. A lot of people are already voting. You hear like, oh my gosh, there's so many votes that are coming out of Cherville and St. John and at the early vote site, which by the way isn't necessarily unusual. That's a pretty heavy voting early vote site anyway, St. John especially.
It's still to a much higher degree than in 2018. And plus with the pandemic, of course, we can't go and have the in-person events, and I can't go just like hug people at fundraisers and meet and greets in town and whatnot. So that kind of makes it a little less fun. in that aspect. And then also in 2020, it's a lot more negative, like I had said, with my opponent running well north of $100,000 worth of negative ads. And we didn't have to contend with that in 2018, so we could kind of have a little bit more of a tight vice grip on the message, whereas this year we kind of have to block and tackle. But, I feel confident the way that we have run a slow burn campaign. We've been running advertisements since mid-September, 2 weeks before early voting started, and mail and TV and everything all the way through. Whereas all of this negative stuff, I think each one of my constituents in each of the last 7 days got a new hit piece on me. So it's it's a little late, buddy.
Who's financing it all? House
the party.
Republicans?
Yeah.
HRCC?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is this more money than usually spent in a rep race?
Interestingly, we thought we would definitely be the clear underdogs at this point, whereas right now the spending is kind of equal. I mean, knock on wood, today they could write a check for $500,000 to my opponent and whatever, but we expected between $400,000 to $1.2 million to be spent on this race.
In a House race?
Yeah.
To answer your question, John, this is a lot of money on a House
for a
race.
region House
around
race.
here.
Yeah.
Around here.
House races down in Indy, they get expensive.
Right.
Right.
Now I heard the speaker spending well north of $1.2 million this year, and it's going to keep climbing in the next few days.
It's crazy on a state House race.
Yeah, I mean, the battlefield has gotten so broad for Democrats and Republicans. There have been so many more toss-up seats that they've had to spread their cash a little thinner. So we're actually pretty grateful that we thought it was going to be $500,000, and so far it's been just a fraction of that so far. So not too bad.
Chris, just getting done running for Congress and getting used to how congressional financing is done versus it is so easy in Indiana to raise money versus I really think the way we do it nationally is a lot easy. I mean, it's a lot tougher than it is locally, and it's a lot better.
Federally.
I mean, literally, you can only take $2,800 from an individual, and that's
no
it.
Corporations.
No corporations. I mean, it's really a lot cleaner. It really is. And they really, if you raise money in this election, that's where it has to stay. And if you move on to the next election, that money has to stay back. I mean,
yeah. We're kind of the Wild West of campaign
Indiana.
finance.
Literally, somebody could, like Chris just said, somebody could walk up to Chris and say, "Here you go, $500,000," and there's no
or
limits
his opponent.
on it. Right?
Yeah. Nobody would give me $500,000.
but what I'm saying is it would be legal.
You never
which is,
know.
Right. It would be legal.
It's insane to do that in a federal race. You'd need
it's so screwed up.
1,000 people.
Yeah. And there was a poll that I saw earlier in the summer that said that voters' number one concern, it wasn't climate change or gun violence. Right. It wasn't illegal immigration or socialism. It was the corrupt political establishment. It was the fact that you can buy these seats and that so much big money comes into play where votes don't matter, essentially.
That's interesting.
And,
wow.
Yeah. And
well, one of the things I think you did great this year was you were probably the best moderator of any congressional.
It was the best.
debate.
It was the best debate we did,
without a doubt.
Yeah,
I mean, you did a great job.
You did, Chris.
Yeah. I worked hard on those questions. I have to say, I spent a couple because honestly, I still being new to the Lake County political thing. I didn't know I didn't know all of you guys that well, so I wanted to hear your answers.
I thought you did a great job.
Yeah, it was coming from a genuine place of asking questions and wanting as many people as possible to hear the answers.
500 people in there. That was
pre-COVID.
Was it pre-COVID? Yeah, January, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were the
I
first
think?
debate, so I was glad you all could participate.
It was great.
interesting.
I wish I think if the whole campaign was like that, it would have been a lot better campaign. Obviously, COVID totally messed everything up, but that was a great debate. You did a great job
It's not an easy job being a moderator of 14 people that are up on stage.
No, yeah,
right?
especially everyone's camps, incling your own, brought in their own crowds, and I was like, stop clapping, we need to get out of here in 2 hours.
John, remember that? It was
It's like when you're watching the State of the Union and there's applause breaks for 3 straight
Somebody
minutes, and
up
I'm
in the
like,
gallery.
oh my God, I just want to go home. Just get this over with.
Just want to go home.
I just want to go home.
There's the
I've got
title
my
of the
answers.
show.
That's it. I just want to go home. There's our title.
Oh God, that's
going
gonna make it sound like I don't even want to.
Wow,
we're here to help, Chris. We're not here to hurt.
That's right. Way to go, John.
I hear you. Yeah. It's
What
like
am I
Chung
running
just wants
for?
to go home. Let's send him
that is
home.
not going to happen. It's going to be something way more optimistic.
That's right.
Well, the other thing he said that stuck with me for a title was "I don't like bodies."
There you go. I don't like blood. I don't like blood.
Right.
blood.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay. I like that
bodies.
one a little better. That'll definitely leave some people scratching their heads.
I don't
right.
like. I think that's
They'll
it.
click
I
play
don't
on
like
that one.
blood.
Yep.
All right. Bing. We got it. All right. Good.
No, I tell you, but getting to know you and seeing how you do your job is just a refreshing, and hopefully you're inspiring a lot more young people to get involved in the party because that's our strength. It really is.
Yeah. What's next for you though?
Good question. I'm trying to figure it out myself. Honestly, Chris, a representative, what happens Tuesday has a lot to do with where I head. I think, What happens on Tuesday?
Is Mayor of Hammond term limited or no?
No.
Oh, okay.
On and on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's as much as you could take.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Seriously, like I've been accumulating critics for 17 years. I mean, that's
I know. Yeah,
after a
you
while.
have. Yeah, I'm starting to see some of mine come out.
Yeah,
of the
can you
woodwork.
imagine, like-
oh god, I don't know.
Add 15 years to that.
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah. That's why I'm term limiting myself. I'm like, I'm not staying in the House for more than 4 terms. I think I would like go crazy.
Then what?
And I don't know. After that, honestly, I kind of there's a part of me that's like, maybe it's time to go back to the private sector and make actual money.
You could do both.
You could, yeah. I mean, it's tough with the way it works in Indiana and the
I like the
opportunities in
dedication, though.
Indiana,
I like the
so.
fact that you're like, look, man, I'm going full time on this.
Yeah, no. When I'm in it to make sure that I do the best job possible, however long or short I'm in there. But for me, I mean, I've learned in this business, like, don't make any long-term commitments because it's so unpredictable. I mean, people go down in scandal, or they die, or they don't seek re-election, and it jumbles the math all kinds of different ways, so I never say never on anything. But right now I kind of am set on staying in the House for a maximum of 4 terms. Hopefully, if I win in 2020, the district I get in 2022 is not like a super,
That's right.
horrible district, or else I probably wouldn't go for it again, obviously. But I mean, there's so many different factors at play, so I don't know how to commit to anything.
Well, we want to wish you good luck on Tuesday.
I don't like hearing you limit yourself either.
No.
I think a guy like you, honestly, a guy like you got a great future. And if you choose, I think statewide is not out of the question.
Oh God, I don't know about that.
Representative,
You never
It's
know.
very flattering, but
I
thank you.
appreciate you being humble like that. But I tell you what, you have a following. There's a lot of people that are very impressed by you, myself included, Kevin included. We've been watching you and just totally impressed, Chris. I think you've done a great job. And going back to the debate, that was a tough situation. You with 14 congressional candidates and not a lot of love on that stage. A lot of us were throwing shade at each other, and I thought you handled it perfectly. I really did, and I think you got a great future.
Thank you.
Good luck Tuesday. You made our podcast a lot smarter today. We
A lot cooler.
appreciate that.
I feel cooler.
I feel cooler today, John. Don't we feel like younger and cooler today and smarter?
Well, I am young.
Yeah, well, that's true. Well, you're not as young as Chris.
Do me a favor,
Don't
Chris.
try to be that young.
Chris, after you win on Tuesday, why don't you swing by and say hi to us? Just come on air for a couple minutes.
If you feel like it.
Sure, yeah. Knock on wood. I don't count my chickens before
Don't
they
count
hatch,
idea.
but yeah.
I feel good for you. I think
Thanks, I appreciate it.
when you do a good job, people should reward you, and you've done a great job, Chris, and people should
Hopefully.
reward you, seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Hal's a bad guy, because I like Hal as a person. He's a nice person, but like, you went in there and did everything expected of you and then some, and you should be rewarded for that, not punished.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight district either way. I mean, the race is going to be so close. The polling shows it, and it can go either way.
Do you believe polls now?
Not all of them. I mean, they had me still losing like by 7 points the last poll we did right before 2018, and then I won by like 0.3 or whatever it was. So not always.
I don't believe polls anymore either.
Yeah. What do you think is going to happen on Tuesday nationally?
Honestly, I'm glad you asked that. I think it's going to be an absolute blue wave. I actually think.
You do?
I think that it's going to be monumental defeat for the president. I really honestly feel that way. I think it's going to be like over the top. People are going to be embarrassed that that they said it was.
I'm
going to
go against the grain and say I think it's going to be a tie electoral
Oh,
college.
wow. No, don't say that. We do not need that.
When you look at the map,
I know.
it's just Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, and I'm like,
Florida, Pennsylvania,
or
Dude,
Michigan,
if it's a tie,
Georgia.
you're going to be famous. If it's a tie,
Yeah,
Chris
it's like
called
betting
it.
the draw.
Seriously, if it's a tie, we're going to play this, and you're going to look like a political genius. Like Chris called it, like 4 days before the
If it
election.
goes back to the House of Representatives.
Right, yeah, it's a crazy
Kevin, what do you
scenario.
think? Kevin, all right, we're all going on the record.
I
Kevin.
am going to say Biden, but not a blue wave.
John,
I think Trump wins.
is it like close? Is it
Well, okay, so
No, I think he wins every state he won in 2016 practically.
really
The big states, yeah.
So all the battlegrounds
Pennsylvania,
go.
Wisconsin,
That's what-
Ohio. Yeah.
And he doesn't even need Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania.
no, he
just
needs
like
one of them.
Yeah.
If he keeps Florida and Arizona,
Right.
Maybe not
Right.
Wisconsin. Maybe
My
Michigan.
honestly, my thinking is he won with an unusual coalition 4 years ago. A lot of people voted for him, not knowing who he is, and we've learned over the last 4 years. And
What
I think a
we've
lot
got.
of those people that are on the
Yeah.
fence are going to break with Biden.
It's interesting. I can tell you this: 2020 doesn't feel like 2016, so that's why I'm going Biden.
Yeah. Representative Chris, thanks for what you do for the party.
Thank you.
Thanks for what you do for the region. We're really lucky to have a great guy like you, working so hard for all of us. So thanks for coming on Left to Center.
Thank
We
you,
appreciate
Representative.
Thanks for having me.
And
All right.
Tuesday night, if you get a chance, if you know what's going on, please stop by, okay?
Will do.
That's
Thanks.
Representative Chris Chung, represents Cherville, St.
Dyer,
John, Dyer, we
part
get
of
them all, and
Griffith.
part of Griffith. All right.
District 15.
Doing a great
Get out
job.
and vote.
So thank
Yep.
you, Representative
All right.
Chris.
Thank
Great
you.
to see you. And to our audience out there, left to center, thanks for tuning in again. We will be back on. We're not on Tuesday morning. Okay, we're doing Tuesday night election coverage from 6 to 9 p.m. We have multiple guests coming in that day. So if you're looking for us Tuesday morning, we will not be here because we're doing Tuesday evening.
6 to 9.
6 to 9 p.m. John, you have anything you want to add?
No.
I think, by the way, I think Chris did a great job.
I do too, by the way. That was great.
I'm telling you,
It's impressive.
he's going to win.
He's impressive. He's very
gonna
impressive.
win.
If he doesn't win, he's not going to be done.
If a guy like Chris doesn't win, we're not doing our jobs as Americans. Because like when a person goes in there, does the job the right way, does the job very well, they should be rewarded, not punished. And that's the thing. Like if a guy like Chris loses, I'm losing confidence in the democracy.
You reminded me, speaking of losing, we lost a couple people this week. And one of the people is a friend of the show, friend of ours for a long time, friend in Democratic politics, is Dave Rosmanich. We lost him last Saturday, and his funeral's tomorrow. I'll be there, but I just want to dedicate this show to him because I know he'd be listening if he was around.
He sure would. And I lost a friend of the family a couple days ago also, Kip Simmons. My nanny's son died tragically within the last few days. She's a great lady. And she's part of our family. And Kip is, by extension, a part of our family. We lost him this week, too. 2 young people we both lost. And a good friend of both of ours, a good friend of all 3 of ours, Dave Kuziak, is undergoing heart surgery.
Good luck to Kuz.
Kuziak, we're thinking of you. It's been a weird week. And for those of you out there that think that COVID's not a real thing, I mean, it is. And people are dying from it. And we need to do something about it. So wear your masks. Wash your hands.
Be responsible.
And socially distance. So, and, be back on Tuesday night, election night, for 3 hours of fun and information. And, we'll be on Left of Center.
Have a safe and happy Halloween.
All right. Bye, everybody. See you Tuesday night.